Episode 155. Xiao Yun and the others were hesitant and uncertain, unsure of what to do, so they had no choice but to return to their computers and continue training. The whole morning, everyone was a bit distracted. That afternoon, Vice Captain Dang Fusheng returned with the account cards. They were mostly obtained from Herb Hall, corresponding to the main roster's classes. Team Tiny Herb, including Captain Wang Jiexi, has 6 main roster players and 5 reserves. That makes a total of 11 people. This 6-5 model is the standard personnel setup currently adopted by clubs across the league. After evening, outside of match days, time was usually their own. Many dedicated players would use it for extra practice. But today, with the captain's word, the Tiny Herb players all gathered in the training room. After each receiving their account cards, they all logged into Glory's 10th server. Everyone's expressions were a bit odd. The whole team all gathered together like this. We've done this in the Heavenly Domain, but it's a first for the regular server. Target player Lord Grim.
Don't let your guard down. The odds are high. That person is the retired Ye Qiu.
Wang Jiexi announced the purpose of this extra training. Hearing this, the group's spirits were instantly roused. They began discussing it amongst themselves. Some players who were already in game searched the ID and immediately reported back to Wang Jiexi.
Captain, he's not online.
He'll be here. For now, everyone get familiar with your characters. Total level character under level 30.
They'd probably find it pretty jarring. Xiao Yun and the others flushed red. Was their captain's remark a veiled jab at them? Is it, or isn't it? The mind of the great god Jiexi? If you can't figure it out, don't bother trying. It was around 8 in the evening when Lord Grim was finally spotted logging in. The team member immediately reported to Wang Jiexi, then inquired with Herb Garden about Lord Grim's location. Qi Chuanzi was now thoroughly unsettled and suspicious. And today, after yesterday, it was the vice captain of Tiny Herb himself who came to pick up a batch of account cards. Putting it all together, that's the entire Team Tiny Herb. Is Team Tiny Herb planning a group sightseeing tour to Server 10? Qi Chuanzi was fuming inside, but he had nowhere to vent. These account cards are for special purposes and are highly confidential. They simply couldn't be brought out into the open. Seeing these characters in the evening, one by one, they logged in. Qi Chuanzi didn't dare to greet them, just wandered around aimlessly. He hoped to stumble upon this Veccaria sightseeing tour by chance. Unfortunately, during that time, the Tiny Herb players were all doing their own thing and never gathered together. It wasn't until after 8 o'clock, the moment Lord Grim logged on, that someone immediately came asking Lord Grim's whereabouts, or Lord Grim. Qi Chuanzi was taken aback. Just who is this Zheng Moxiao? The whole of Tiny Herb is here to gawk at him. Is she some kind of alien? As he thought this, Qi Chuanzi immediately alerted the guild to watch out for Zheng Moxiao. After getting a bit of intel a moment later, he replied to the group, while simultaneously rushing toward the area where Lord Grim had been spotted. It was in the Glazed Lands where the players from Herb Garden spotted Lord Grim. If he were purely grinding levels, Yeshu would definitely head for a higher level zone. But right now, he still had a few level 28 quests to finish, and they all had to be done here in the Glazed Lands. The quest narratives, the backstories, that's all ancient history, stuff from 10 years ago. Not even Ye. Even Qi Chuanzi wouldn't give it a second glance. Veteran players only ran quests for the rewards. The problem is, some quests are long and tedious, yet they offer essential rewards like attribute points or skill books only upon completion. Players had no choice but to grit their teeth and grind through the prerequisite quests, one tedious layer at a time. Yeshu was currently in the Glazed Lands, grinding through these tedious prerequisite quests. He was following an online guide. He took a streamlined approach, grabbing several quests at once. Kill monsters, find people, deliver items, retrieve objects. He made a full circuit, turned in all the quests at once, then started the next round. It was a satisfyingly efficient way to work. Lord Grim is in the Glazed Lands, and he's alone, reported the Tiny Herb member to their captain, Wang Jiexi, after obtaining the intel. To Glazed Land, all 11 members of the team moved out in a grand procession, converging on the Glazed Lands from every direction. Vice Captain Deng Fusheng, sitting next to Wang Jiexi, leaned in as they traveled and said,
Even if it really is Ye Q, wouldn't it be a bit much for all of us to gang up on him?
Wang Jiexi turned his head to look at him and said calmly, Let the main force go one-on-one first.
Aegon led.
Right? There were 11 of us, and just one of him. Deng Fusheng broke out in a cold sweat.
Is there any difference?
Soon they arrived at the Glazed Lands. Lord Grim was on a quest, and he wasn't exactly hiding it. He was easy to spot, and Carriage Seed had slipped over by now, but he didn't dare approach them, instead slipping into an inconspicuous spot to hide. As the 11 avatars assembled, confirming this was the real Team Tiny Herb, Qi Chuyanzi's heart swelled with excitement. He wrestled with the urge to start recording.
The main force is going for a 1-1. Who's up first?
Wang Jiexi asked in the training room. After a brief moment of quiet, someone volunteered. I'll go. This guy is Liang Fang, a berserker. His style is simple and brutal. He was a wild player. He was currently wielding a level 27 berserker named a Bloodwind. The weapon is a level 25 purple tier greatsword, severing water. Physical attack 310, magic attack 2 Harn. It also grants Cuoten strength and increases the skill level of Mountain Crusher by 1. As for the rest of their gear, it was just a mix of ordinary blue and green items from quests and dungeons. Qi Chuyanzi could only afford to equip each of these accounts with a single purple weapon, was already doing his absolute best. He simply couldn't keep his gear in good shape anymore. Liang Fang's Bloodwind strode forward, greatsword shouldered, while the other 10 fanned out in a circle. Yishu, still off killing monsters, paid them no mind, leaving Xiao Yun and the others feeling rather forlorn. With a commotion this big, there's no way they haven't spotted us. They're easy enough to handle. We just clashed with them yesterday, fought a bloody battle, and now they don't even register as a threat. It just proved they weren't even on his radar. As Bloodwind stepped forward with his sword drawn, Liang Fang let out a roar. Zhang Mo Xiao ignored him. Yu Zizai kept fighting the monster, and everyone felt indignant. Liang Fang's voice was so loud, everyone heard it. How could Zhang Mo Xiao, who was even closer, not have? He didn't even react. That's a clear sign of being ignored. Hey, Liang Fang called out again. He wanted a fair fight, not to attack while his opponent was busy with a monster. Still ignoring him, Liang Fang maneuvered Bloodwind around to face Lord Grim head-on, making sure he was seen.
I'll wait for you to finish off these mobs.
Liang Fang finished speaking and waited quietly for Lord Grim, who meticulously dispatched the few gathered mobs. Liang Fang watched, thinking, finally, he's ready. Just as they were about to start the fight, they saw Lord Grim freeze, completely still. Right, completely motionless. The scene was one of perfect tranquility. Captain, Liang Fang asked, a note of frustration in her voice as she sought direction.
Take a swing at him.
Liang Fang responded instantly, leaping up and bringing his sword down in a slash. Lord Grim remained motionless, utterly still, until Liang Fang suddenly heard what sounded like a woman's startled scream. This left Liang Fang momentarily dazed. Finally, Zhang Mo Xiao moved, just as the blade was about to cleave him in two. Lord Grim suddenly ducked, putting more distance between the blade and his head. At the same time, Zhang Mo Xiao dropped into a roll, narrowly avoiding the blade.